Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move this week. I'm Tim Stenevec with Nora Melinda, and we're joined by Bloomberg News cross-asset reporter Isabel Lee. Hi.
Hi. It's great to be here on this Friday. I want to start with, can I start? I'll start.
You can start.
Please. I'll start with Delta. So for the week, we saw the stock rise almost 12%.
Wow.
But for today, it's down by 0.2%.
Wow.
But you can just imagine that it shaved some of those losses. So why did it gain so much? It got its earnings this week, and Delta reinstated a profit outlook for the year and said travelers are coming back. So this prompted its stock to really just surge amid a fresh sense of confidence. We know that the consumer sector has been beaten down, and for a while, people weren't traveling, whether domestically or internationally. So the carrier expects an adjusted profit of $5.25 to $6.25. They also reported better than expected earnings. So that's really good. And Delta's projections sent its shares really just soaring. So travel in the U.S. is back, especially after President Donald Trump's tax cut and spending package and tariff discussion. So really exciting news. Do you have travel plans?
Not on an airplane. Not an airplane. Yeah, I do,
What's
but
the mode
not
of transportation.
All the travel I do on an airplane is for work, and we have a lot of travel.
You do?
Coming up. Yeah,
You do.
we're
You've
going to
been
be
in
in
the sky enough.
California. We're going to be in Denver in a few months. Be in California again in a few months.
Wow.
Yeah, we go a lot of places, but no. Hard to fly with little kids.
Yes,
Fair.
I can't even
Fair.
imagine.
You know what's interesting about the Delta news is that they were the first company to pull their guidance, the first airline company, or first airline to pull their guidance. So 3 months ago, what we'd be talking about is, there's so much uncertainty. There's so much uncertainty. And then this week we learned, travelers are coming back, and there is some semblance of certainty, at least for now.
Mm-hmm. There is, and maybe with the tariffs too, we have the trade policy uncertainty of Bloomberg. We're tracking that. It inched higher, although still not as high as the April level. And then we just pushed out a story saying that markets are complacent. That's one way to look at it. Or markets just don't care and they just really want to rip through. And
The CEO said that consumers are getting, quote, a little numb with the ongoing
really?
trade disputes. So it sounds like they're ready for us to wrap it up and go ahead and hop on a flight. That's what it sounds
why
like.
not?
All right. So Delta on your radar this week. Also Moderna, a big mover.
Big mover up 10.3%. So let's call that 11% this week. So U.S. regulators approved their COVID vaccine for children, although with a narrow group. This seems to be continuing from Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s controversial policy that restricts access to shots for some kids. So maybe this is helpful to know for parents. So the FDA gave full approval of the immunization for kids under 12 who are at risk from the disease. So since the pandemic, we know that doses of COVID shots from Moderna and Pfizer have been made available to kids in that age range, even those not at increased risk. But Kennedy, who we know is a longtime critic of COVID vaccines, had a power to revoke that access. But this is good news for Moderna and maybe most of the vaccine companies. I personally haven't gotten a booster recently. I just get whatever Bloomberg offers, which is a flu shot.
Do they even give us those anymore?
I think you can. Yeah, I think you can get a COVID shot too.
In
I don't know.
Bloomberg?
I don't know.
I don't think
I'm
so.
too lazy. If it's not offered here, I don't do it.
Okay.
Well, we're
Right.
looking at shares of Moderna.
We're not giving medical advice here.
Yes,
You should know.
right. Definitely not.
Shares of Moderna are still down almost 20% this year, though. So
Wow.
it's interesting when you see it on the broader scale.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
PTC is also on your radar.
PTC is their third biggest gainer, up by almost 10%. So this is some kind of a merger going on, or maybe potentially.
right?
Potentially is the important word. So Autodesk is weighing an acquisition of PTC, which is this rival engineering software provider. So Autodesk has been working with advisors to really just evaluate a cash and stock deal for PTC. So PTC is a big company. Maybe consumer-facing people may not know it, but it's a $23 billion worth market
It's in
cap.
the S&P 500.
Yes, and it's drawing interest from other industry players too, not just its rivals. So no final decision has been made. So the deal comes amid all of the steady consolidation in the industrial software space, where really everyone's just expecting increased demand because of AI, tech, maybe crypto. I don't know. Let's just stick with AI.
BI is saying that the deal would give Autodesk a 17%
Yes.
share in the company, which apparently is unlikely to bump up against
Yes.
some of those antitrust regulations that everyone's focused on.
But that's significant because the market is a $19 billion manufacturing software market, which again, most people probably wouldn't know.
the Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.